So Demolition definitely has the lead here. Rioyner had a very close match to the frame in his last game to get here. Both are capable of doing wheel mix, so we'll see if... Yeah, I'm guessing Demolition... Both are going to be going for it. Unfortunately, Demolition actually misses wheel mix, and he's going to just go for the resets to try it again, whereas Rioyner gets wheel mix first try, so that'll actually give him a pretty significant early game advantage. So wheel mix is definitely a harder strat and riskier strat to use, considering if you miss it, you're going to lose about half a dozen seconds. Really, before in the past, it's only been seen by high-level players, but it's gone to a point as Demolition goes for it again. Unfortunately, misses wheel mix a second time with the hammer mix there. And opting not to do this powerless, he's just going to keep going for the mix again, as Rioyner's already this star in 1-2. And Demolition missing it again, unfortunately. He's just gonna keep going for wheel mix. I guess he doesn't have too much experience doing this powerless, and he figures, you know, just get the wheel. But Rioyner is building quite a significant lead here, as Demolition gets Mike there, unfortunately. As Rioyner is now complete 1-2, so he's about a minute and a half ahead approximately. Okay, Demolition does have wheel mix. Now, keep in mind, Demolition's PB is about 6 minutes faster than Rioyner. I would say Rioyner has about a 2-ish minute lead, approximately. So it's not entirely impossible, Demolition. Rioyner getting hit there, re-grabbing wheel. It's not entirely impossible, we'll see throughout the later worlds, Demolition, you know, be able to close this gap. So, towards the middle of 1-3, you're going to drop wheel and grab burning, either if you're powerless or if you have a wheel at that point. The reason is while wheel is amazing as a, while wheel is like an amazing ability for movement, it's pretty bad against most bosses, whereas burning, still fairly good, is able to deal with Frosty in 1-4, Wispy at the end of World 1, and Demolition's stream looks like it's about frozen right now. I know he's having some internet issues. Not sure if we'll see it reconnect at some point. Meanwhile, Rioyner approaching the end of 1-4 here, going to be moving on to Wispy. The only point of view we can look at currently. I'm pretty positive that Demolition is still going, it's just that his stream right now isn't connected. But like he's still playing, it's not like it's a forfeit or anything like that. Rioyner just trying to see how far he can take this early game lead. Also, shoutouts to Rioyner, literally minutes, not minutes, I think within the past hour he got a 37 in Kirby's Dreamland 2 right before this race. What a legend. Alright, but Rioyner, okay, Demolition back, approaching the end of 1-3 as Rioyner is finishing up 332 on the fade out, so we'll see, let's see if I can remember that, 332 on that fade out, as Demolition is going to be entering, 1-4. So on Rioyner's side, for 2-1, you're going to keep burning towards the beginning of this level, just allows you to go a bit faster as well as breeze through these enemies. He's not going to get a bad tornado pattern, lucky for him. Otherwise, you kind of have to stall your movement or get hit. Rioyner stuck in the tree there a bit, and Demolition, unfortunately, I think having both some internet problems as well as some control problems. Alright, so for Grand Wheelie here in 2-2, the best strategy is to have whatever ability you have, you're typically going to be burning, to do a double star there, and then grab wheel. You're going to keep wheel throughout 2-2, and part of 2-3, and high-level strategies will allow people to keep wheel into 2-4 and 2-5 if you are able to get through the arena. I'm not sure if Rioyner is really doing those kinds of strats, though. Oh! Rioyner not letting go of wheel early there enough, and unfortunately just going to plummet there and take a death. The death itself looks like it's going to cost about, half a dozen seconds at least. Then not going to have wheel for the remainder of 3-3. I don't know if Rioyner is actually going to be doing wheel arena strats, so it's probably not as big of a time loss if he was going for that. Regardless, we can see Demolition, internet back up towards the beginning of 2-1 here, so about 2 stages behind. As I said, Demolition is definitely probably going to have a lot more late game experience. In particular, that's where the biggest difference in skill between him and Rioyner is going to be. So over time, he should be able to catch up more and more. Rioyner, unfortunately, having a few issues in this arena, but going to be able to clean it up there. Meanwhile, Demolition doing the same stuff that Rioyner was going through. He will likely be, I think, trying to keep wheel through the 2-3 arena, which is pretty difficult. It requires dropping and re-grabbing wheel a handful of times, and each time you only have about 4 seconds to re-inhale it. So the movement and timing is pretty specific, but it is a nice time save if you're able to get through that. Meanwhile, Rioyner entering 2-4 here is going to be using Spark, which is the go-to strategy for dealing with TikTok here. You can knock him out in 4 hits without him even having a chance to really move at you. And then, of course, Spark is also a bit helpful here to take out a few enemies that would otherwise be in your way. Demolition's stream, unfortunately, is stalled here a bit again. Just pulling up his actual splits on my own laptop. Looks like he was about a minute and a half behind his PB coming out of Vegetable Valley. Meanwhile, Rioyner cleaning up here at 2-4, going to be entering 2-5, where we're going to re-grab wheel as well as get a first taste of high jump going into Butter Building. Yeah, little by little, though, Demolition is definitely closing this gap. Alright, Rioyner grabbing one of the wheels on the left there. One of the neat things about Nightmare and Dreamland speedruns compared to a few other of the Kirby games is you don't tend to hold abilities for that long most of the case. Just a lot of very quick item dropping just to gain a few seconds here and there. So for example, you only really utilize wheel for about 2 rooms there, where somewhere in like Katam, you might be using wheel for a couple of minutes at a time. However, Rioyner is going to be grabbing high jump, where it allows him a lot more vertical maneuverability, which is really important for Butter Building, which is a building, it's a vertical level. Meanwhile, as Rioyner is approaching Paint Roller, it looks like Demolition didn't keep wheel throughout 2-3 and is really getting a big time save advantage from keeping wheel throughout 2-4 and the beginning of 2-5. So yeah, little by little, he's definitely closing this gap. As Rioyner finishing up with Paint Roller, going to be entering Butter Building now. Just taking a look at Rioyner's splits, he's only about +7 coming out of Ice Cream Island, so not a bad run for him. Could potentially see a race PB, the back-to-back PBs for Rioyner. Meanwhile, Demolition going through 2-5, going to be keeping wheel for the first half and then grabbing high jump. Definitely really clean wheel movement from Demolition's side. For Rioyner, the difference between SpeedGaming 4 rating with a party of 64. Anyways, on Rioyner's side, the first difference between 80% and 100% is within the switches throughout the game. There are about, I believe, 18 or so switches throughout Worlds 3 to 7. And 80% you're just trying to get through the game as fast as possible, whereas for 100% you need to get all those switches, which essentially just unlock mini-games and such on the world map. Adds about, I believe, 5 to 6-ish minutes of gameplay, maybe a little bit less than that. Fortunately, Demolition's struggling a bit with Paint Roller here, getting hit a few times. Pretty annoying fight. You have to get very close to Paint Roller to do more damage with High Jump itself. But of course, the closer you are, the bigger risk there is of taking damage. And it looks like Rioyner, he's going to be doing High Jump Bugsy. Definitely a higher risk, higher reward strat. Let's see if he's able to pull this off. Gonna need some very, very close spacing with High Jump, and unfortunately gets grabbed by Bugsy there. The safer strat is to use Sword, which allows you to attack more from a distance, but High Jump allows you to just keep it for a bit longer, less item cycling, it's a bit faster, but it's definitely a tough strat to pull off. And unfortunately, Rioyner getting stuck on Bugsy there, as Demolition is now only a stage away, getting the 3-1 switch himself, as Rioyner is now one hit away in this, and unfortunately takes a death to Bugsy. Okay, tough stuff for him. I'm gonna have to now do this powerless. When Bugsy is one of the slowest, gets the double star there. It's one of the slowest bosses to do powerless. You don't really get that many projectiles. So unfortunately, it looks like the gap between Demolition and Rioyner is getting closer and closer, as they're now in the same level for the first time in a while. Rioyner just looking for one more hit, and he's gonna finally get it, as Demolition is, looks like, slowly closing the gap. He is also going to be going for High Jump Bugsy. We'll see if he has more success than Rioyner did with strategy. So it requires a lot of very fast spacing. You're able to get through this room with Demolition a bit quicker from just jumping past those penguins. Unfortunately, Demolition also getting grabbed there. Very difficult strategy to pull off. Although he's going to have a bit more, definitely quite a bit more success with it than Rioyner did, not taking a death there. Rioyner still has a bit of a lead for now, re-grabbing High Jump in 3-3, going to carry it through for pretty much most of the rest of Butter Building. Looks like Demolition having a few more stream issues. Alright, so 3-4 on Rioyner's side is another arena-based level. The best ideal strategy is to keep High Jump through the arena so you don't have to go re-grab it, which loses some time, but getting through the arena quickly while also keeping the ability, definitely pretty tight. It's not very easy to KO these enemies with High Jump. You have to be very close and risk getting hit, or if you're dropping the ability, you only have about 4 seconds to re-grab it every single time. Plus, it's easy to destroy your own ability. Rioyner able to get through there. Unfortunately, Demolition on the left side is having some more internet problems. I imagine he's probably still going to be playing, so hopefully at some point you can connect and we'll be able to do a bit of more of a time comparison. Meanwhile, Rioyner finishing up with 3-4. Kind of a sloppy arena, not perfect, but keeping High Jump here prevents him from having to go re-grab it, which helps a lot for 3-5. Gonna grab the candy here and just sort of shoot upwards. Alright, looks like Demolition has reconnected, and he's also just finishing up 3-4, so once again they're in the same stage, but not for long. 3-5 is pretty short, and looks like Rioyner is finishing as Demolition is just getting started here. Entering 3-6 is the second stage with a switch. It's a bit hidden, as most of the switches are, although they're not too hard to find. Rioyner playing a bit safe with these crash enemies. That first one you can hit with High Jump, but you need to be very quick and fast with your words. Gotta be quick and have good spacing. There you go. Rioyner taking a hit as Demolition now entering 3-6. So you can see Demolition goes for the slide there and does actually attempt to hit the crash, but it looks like he took a hit there himself. Rioyner unfortunately losing High Jump, which is going to cost him a bit of time. You will re-grab it towards the back half of the stage. Entering the secret room here to grab the switch. Demolition's also only at 1 health, so we can't take any stray hits before he gets the switch, or he's going to be in a world of hurt. Rioyner on the flip side has no extra lives. Looks like Demolition's going to be fine. But yeah, the gap has only got to be about like a dozen seconds, or at most now, from about 2 minutes towards the beginning. Rioyner re-grabbing high jump here, which will be useful for Shine and Bright, and towards the beginning of Great Garden, Demolition going through the Dark Room, and both about to finish up roughly at the same time. Demolition having a lot cleaner movement with high jump, with these high jump cancels here, which allows you to get through a bit faster. Alright, so for Shine and Bright, 3 up-close hits should knock them out, but unfortunately if you misspace your hits, you'll lose your ability there. Rioyner having some problems. Demolition is actually about to take the lead here as he himself gets hit. Both having some problems in Shine and Bright, but Rioyner unfortunately keeps high jump, but a very, very scuffed fight from his end. But yeah, after the wheel mix issues at the beginning, looks like Demolition's actually going to be retaking the lead going into Great Garden. We still have, about 2/3 of this run left. Although, unfortunately, looks like Demolition's having some more internet problems. Rioyner entering 4-1. Can't really see much on demo screen from right now. I'm sure he'll reconnect shortly. 4-1 is another switch stage. You can either typically use high jump, or a bit of a slower, safer strategies is to grab UFO there, which allows you to break these blocks easily just to get to the actual switch you need to. So Rioyner going for the high jump strategies, hitting that first switch. There's only 2 in Butter Building, but there's quite a bit more in both Great Garden, Yogurt Yard, and Orange Ocean. There is a wheel mix here. I don't really reckon Rioyner is going to be going for it. The safest strategy is typically just to grab Tornado here to use it towards the very end as well as the beginning of 4-2, which allows you to save a bit of time. But unfortunately, a bit of scuffed movement there, having to use it twice. Still not seeing anything on Demolition's side. He did regain the lead in the Shine and Bright fight, so I imagine he's somewhere within the 4-2 range, and Demolition is there. And actually, Demolition must have hit 4-1 wheel mix, because he has it now, which is going to give him even more of a time save. It saves about 4 seconds optimally. And Demolition's also been pioneering keeping wheel throughout the 4-2 Poppy fight into 4-3, so I'm really interested to see on his side how that ends up going for him, if he's able to pull off the flowchart. We'll see. The idea is to do this fight. Looks like things not going exact. I can't even really tell myself because I've not seen enough, but I don't think that was exactly what he wanted, but he's still going to be able to finish him off with wheel. Meanwhile, Rioyner is going for the more typical strategy, which is to use Spark to deal with these 2 poppies. Demolition actually having quite a few problems this fight, having only 1 health by the end of it, but he still is going to be able to keep wheel at least, which will give him some more time save in 4-3. Rioyner himself having a few issues in this fight, getting hit by some of the random patterns. He's at game over risk if he gets hit one more time. He's got to be very careful. Very careful. He's not going to go for a soft reset. You can soft reset, it costs about 2 seconds, but it will allow you to get back to full health and give you back 2 lives. Rioyner is going to be playing very risky here, because 1 stray hits, and he's going to have not just he's going to have a game over, which is going to lose quite a bit of time, and in a stage like 4-3, it's pretty easy to get hit on a stray cannon or something. Meanwhile, Demolition, screen is once again frozen, but I imagine he's going to be able to have some great time save from keeping wheel throughout 4-3. Alright, Rioyner getting back to full health with that switch, so a little bit less risk of a stray death here. Gonna drop Spark, probably going to be going for high jump in the middle of the blimp. Yep, so as I said, there's a lot of quick cycling of abilities in Nightmare and Dreamland, sometimes just to save a few seconds at a time. This is one of them where you grab high jump towards the end of 3-3, and allows you just to save a bit of time in this room here, which is a bit more vertically oriented. Also, just checking Rioyner's stream, looks like he was about plus 50 or so coming out of Butter Building, so probably no strong chance of a PB from his end unless he has a pretty much perfect late game. He's going to be keeping high jump through a 4-4. Meanwhile, Demolition having wheel there, now swapping for Spark for Fanfan. Fanfan, bit of an annoying fighter, but this particular one isn't too bad. Bit of a recent strategy change in Nightmare and Dreamland was instead of using throw for this room and for the arena, is to keep Spark and to do the arena powerless. it ends up being a bit faster. Rioyner grabbing wheel here for this one room, which kind of intended. Oh, unfortunately taking that hit, which means he's going to be behind the platforms. They're going to break, which wastes a bit of time. And he'll be entering the fan fight shortly. Demolition now in 4-5. Another Meta Knight arena. I said this one's going to be powerless. As Rioyner enters the fan fight. Alright, neither of them getting hit. Good stuff. Alright, so the first hit there is pretty quick. You need to grab that enemy very quickly to snipe the other one on the other end of the stage. Fortunately, Demolition getting shocked by one of those electric arrows. Pretty annoying because it puts you into a big hit stun and wastes a couple of seconds. Getting through the arena and going to grab Burning afterwards, though. Rioyner himself entering through here. He's at 3 health and 0 lives, so he's definitely got to be careful. You can see Demolition using Burning there to avoid getting hit from the spikes, and you're able to save a bit of time throughout using Burning the end of World 4 in 4-5 and 4-6. So you can see in that case, Rioyner was not fast enough on that first hit, and the chain ball enemy ended up blocking it. Meanwhile, just trying to play safe, not trying to take any hits here. He also gets shocked there by the electric arrow. The layout of the room is a bit awkward for grabbing some of the enemies. There's a lot of corners you can sort of get caught on with the hover. Demolition, a bit of lag on his screen. He's currently in 4-6 using Sword for the TikTok fight. And he's going to be getting the 4-6 switch, which is the last switch for Great Garden. Pretty much the easiest switch to get in the game. It's just hidden in a dark room, and it takes about couple of seconds to get it compared to usual. Rioyner himself keeping Burning throughout the end of 4-5. Again, looks like I don't know if he's going to end up soft resetting or not. I think he's just going to keep Burning, but he's playing very risky here. If he takes one stray hit, not a game over. He got an extra life, but yeah, those frogs there have some random patterns, and getting hit by them is pretty easy and pretty at times out of your control, and there it is. Meanwhile, Demolition entering Krakow now. One of the aspects of high jump is that you can actually cancel your high jumps midway, which allows you to get through them quite a bit faster. So you can see those bunch of sparks flying off Demolition, his screen every time he lands on a platform. He's doing those cancels to get through a bit faster. They also do a bit of extra damage, which allows you to damage Krakow by doing sort of 2 hits on him, both the actual high jump and the cancel. Rioyner, unfortunately, having some issues. Going to be grabbing Sword here for the TikTok fight. Allows you to knock him down in about 6 slashes or so. As meanwhile, Demolition building his own lead. Rioyner grabbing the switch. He'll be entering Yogurt Yard. Pretty big stage for 100%, as I believe 4 of the 6 stages, or something like that, all have switches to them. So the route diverts quite a bit from the normal any percent. This first stage, however, is pretty straightforward. You take an intended shortcut, grab Stone, which allows you to skip through a decent portion, and grab the first switch in Yogurt Yard. Meanwhile, Rioyner going to be grabbing High Jump at the very end of this, so he doesn't have to waste getting it in the Krakow fight. High Jump is pretty much intended, at least for the first part of Krakow, to get through those platforms quickly. It looks like a bit of a freeze on Rioyner's screen now to flip. Meanwhile, Demolition entering 5-2 here. No switch in this stage. Not that much going on. You do get your first usage of ball here, which is okay. It looks like both streams are actually potentially frozen here. And we're back on Rioyner's side. So he's just finishing up with Krakow here. Yeah, 5-2 on Demolition side. You get Ball, which is a tough ability to use, but very powerful, and especially very good at destroying a lot of the mid-bosses or regular bosses. Rioyner himself going to be entering 5-1, as waiting for Demolition's screen to be coming back shortly. So you ditch High Jump pretty early on because it doesn't really serve that much of a purpose, and you're going to want to grab Stone at this point anyways to very quickly fall through this room and break these blocks. Oh, right. Oh, no! So Rioyner didn't hold stone long enough for the first time. He used it again, but this time he broke through all of the blocks and unfortunately he KO'd himself. I'm gonna have to redo this room and a waste a bit of time, unfortunately having to break these blocks without stone. Pretty small, quick mistake, but unfortunately it ends up being quite a large time loss. Looks like a bit of internet problems on both his stream and Demolition too. Looks like Demolition, I think, is actually on 5-4 right now, just starting it. So he's definitely got quite a lead right now, as Rioyner is just entering 5-2. We'll just have to sort of wait for the reconnect. So yeah, 5-2 is almost kind of like a maze in a way. There's a whole lot of doors. Oh, see Demolition's side, he is, actually, I guess because there's a bit of a lag from his own stream, he's just finishing up 5-3 with Wheel, and then gonna grab Burning in 5-4. So yeah, not too much happens in 5-2, but you do grab Ball here, which is... Oh, unfortunately, Rioyner taking a hit there. Yeah, just gonna do an enter-exit to re-grab the ability. Smart backup by him. So Ball is some... it has some potential for maneuverability options like that. You can see he's able to very quickly launch that screen, as well as being very good versus a lot of the mid bosses and some of the regular bosses as well. Demolition entering the 5-4 arena, doing this one powerless as well. I would say this is a bit of an easier arena to do, as you're not trying to keep an ability through it like, say, 2-3. Alright, getting through, and unfortunately, Rioyner losing Ball there. Demolition gonna grab it. And is he gonna go for Ball Swag? He is. So, you can get through this room. Oh, and unfortunately, he misses Ball Swag. You can get through that room a bit faster by actually using Ball to jump up and down through those platforms, or you can play it safe by hovering towards the top of the screen. It saves a bit of time, but it's a bit of a... it's a cool looking strat, that's why I got the name Ball Swag, but of course, bit risky to do, especially depending on how actually good you are at it. Demolition's pretty good, but it looks like his stream is frozen again. Meanwhile, Rioyner gets hit in the high jump room, which loses a bit of time. Now he's going to be grabbing the Wheel here. This is sort of an intended room with Wheel. You're able to get through the enemies without really any problem. 5-3 is one of the easier stages. 5-4 on Demolition side is also another stage. 5-4, 5-5, and 5-6. Is it 5? Do they all have switches? I can't even think right now. Okay, Rioyner has got to be careful in the spike room. He's going to game over, and there it is. Unfortunately, taking a little bit too much damage, and he had no extra lives there. Yeah, if you soft reset at any point, not only do you get back your full health, but you get back 2 extra lives. And unfortunately, he's going to have to redo all of 5-3, which is going to set him back quite a bit. So this stage takes about at least a minute to get through. Demolition's screen actually back up now. So he is currently on 5-5. Bit of a mini puzzle you do there to get the switch, and then you have high jump here, which is able to take care of the fire line pretty easily. Meanwhile, Rioyner redoing this Wheel section. Has a bit more health to spare. So yeah, Demolition going for this fire line fight. You want to get close as possible to it and do a whole bunch of those quick cancels to knock it out very quickly before it has a chance to move. Then you're going to grab Burning for the end of 5-5, just for a bit of extra speed. Alright, Rioyner getting through 5-3. Fortunately, Demolition getting hit there and not doing any sort of Wheel mix to back it up. Oh! Looks like he's actually is going to be doing a mix. He's trying to wait for the Burning and the laser, but not able to pull that off. I think that's a Wheel mix backup, I imagine. No, Rioyner going through the spike room, a bit tricky. You want to be able to use Burning as much as possible without getting hit by those spikes and losing it instantaneously. So Demolition going to be using Wheel for the first half of the room, and then doing this Wheel mix to ideally be grabbing. There it is. Actually, it just froze right as he was about to do it. But that Wheel mix where you grab 2 wheels and then instantly just hold down and B, the first option you would get would be Hammer, which you need for 5-6, as well as being really good against the World 5 boss. Alright, is Rioyner going to be going for Ball Swag? He is. He's doing it. All right, looks like he's gonna nail it. All right, he did. Oh, Rioyner, you were so close, man. You were so close. So, pretty much pulling it off perfectly until the very end there. Unfortunately, he's gonna go for it again though. Gonna take another death. He is not phased by anything. Meanwhile, Demolition Screen is still frozen. I imagine he's finishing up the remainder of Yogurt Yard. Alright, Rioyner no longer going for ball swag, just gonna float towards the top of the screen. So yeah, you grab the one switch in this room here. Otherwise, you'd still be going through the shortcut, you just wouldn't grab that switch in any percent. And the final use of ball is that you can get through this room quite a bit faster with ball just by holding it, so he's able to, breeze through those enemies pretty quickly. Demolition has just got... Okay, so Demolition's stream's been frozen for the past couple of minutes, but it looks like he's just been trying to get ball from that mix to do it with Heavy Mole. I assume that's what he's been doing. Because I'm pretty sure if he would just grabbed Hammer, he probably would have been an Orange Ocean by now. He's just trying to do strats. He's going for it. Oh, 1 health. Is he going to be able to pull it off? Yeah, he pulls it off. Alright, so Demolition doing ball, Heavy Mole. Big flex. Meanwhile, Rioyner keeping high jump throw at 5-5 here. So, World 6 Orange Ocean has taken, unfortunately, a hit from the frogs there who have some random patterns. World 6 of called Orange Ocean, all 6 of the levels have switches in them, so it's quite a bit longer and diverges a lot from the any percent route. Rioyner, unfortunately, going to hit during the Fire Lion. But it does open up a lot of very cool routing possibilities. It's like Demolition going for that wheel mix right there. Wheel actually allows you to break these 1x1 steel blocks, so he's going to be able to grab the switch here. Otherwise, you'd probably use hammer or stone or another item. And then Wheel also having some ability, to go faster throughout the actual level. But using Wheel throughout World 6 can be tough in a few parts, as there's quite a lot of enemies and not a whole lot of solid ground to work on. Rioyner finishing up with 5-5, so he's going to be entering 5-6. We'll see if he's going to be going for the instantaneous hammer mix, or if he's just going to be grabbing Wheel and grabbing the mix later. He's going for the instantaneous mix, but smartly he's not actually inhaling yet, just in case he gets hit, and he's going to grab that tomato too. And then he's going to hold down NB, and you instantly get hammer. Demolition going for stone mix in 6-2, so if you inhale the Waddle Dee and then the crash enemy, and then you hold down and B, you'll instantly get stone. Depending on the patterns they give you, there's sort of a flow chart you need to be able to react to make sure you get it, but it can save a couple of seconds as opposed to the regular stone strategies. Meanwhile, Rioyner in the absolute worst room in the game, where you have to do a whole bunch of timed hammer swings in the water. I think Demolition was maybe trying to grab Burning there, or he's not going to grab Burning, or not going to get Burning, or Tornado after all. So Rioyner is keeping the 5-6 hammer, the one that he needed for the switch, because it's also the pretty much the best ability to use for practical purposes, versus Heavy Mole. Takes only a couple hits, but you need to space them and time them properly. Because he has a bit of invulnerability between hits, and then he's got those, his big arms swinging around. Having hammer here as opposed to waiting for the missile and then absorbing that saves quite a bit of time, so you do this in any percent as well. Demolition, unfortunately, his screen is frozen. He's entering 6-3. One of the toughest levels in 100% because of UFO mix. Although I'm guessing by the time Demolition's stream is back actually up, he'll probably be through the UFO mix section. So Rioyner going through 6-1. If you can keep Hammer through this part, it's nice, but he's going to drop it. I guess he just doesn't really think he's going to be able to keep it anyways. So he's going to have to do a mix to back it up. Unfortunately, getting hit there as well. Orange Ocean has a ton of enemies. It's got a ton of random patterns. He's actually going to be going for wheel mix there, and he is not going to get it. But he's going to get burning. I'm not sure if burning actually allows you to even break those blocks. So he's going to have to do... The intended backup would be to inhale... you can hammer from there, or you can inhale 2 of those sparks and get hammer. There's a couple different ways you can get it, but you need something to break that one block. Looks like his first try was essentially going for a wheel mix, and he just missed the timing on the first one. Still not seeing anything from Demolition stream right now. I think both, based on their early game, or their streams, pretty much cannot PB, so it's just sort of finishing the race. Rioyner, using burning throughout the remainder of 6-1, saves a bit of time and allows you to blitz through some of these enemies pretty easily. Still not seeing anything from Demolition side right now. Alright, Rioyner also entering 6-2. We'll see if he's just going to go for intended stone strats or if he's going to be doing the mix himself. Looks like he's going to be going for the mix, so you have to inhale... Okay, he's going to get it. So very, very nice. So you have to inhale not just both those enemies, but you have to specifically inhale the laser, the Waddle Dee, before you inhale the crash enemy. So if, depending on if the laser is to the left or the right, you have to adjust your positioning. But this kind of mix, and as opposed to grabbing someone from the other room, saves a handful of seconds. Good stuff by Rioyner, despite being a relatively new player to 100%. He's really gone all out to pick up a whole bunch of the difficult and sometimes new strategies to save time. Not going to grab high jump there. You can, which can save a bit of time from using it in that room. Alright, Demolition stream back up. Looks like he went for the 6-4. No, he just has burning. He's in 6-5 now. He's not going for a 6-5 burning mix. Rioyner also grabbing burning, which saves a bit of time towards the end of 6-2 and the beginning of 6-3 before UFO mix. So if Demolition already has burning here, he's not going to have to get, or even attempt burning mix for the switch that he needs with fire here. Alright, stream's freezing a bit again. Okay, so Rioyner's actually entering 6-3, and hopefully we can see his stream for UFO mix. The intended way to do the switch is to grab laser in the ship, but there is an alternative way which involves grabbing UFO from mixing these 2 burning enemies, but it's pretty difficult to do. It's one of the more difficult tricks and mixes in this game. Unfortunately, 4 frames too early. You have a 4-frame window to get it, and you throw is the one before UFO. Unfortunately getting hit there again, going for a faster setup to grab both these burnings. Okay, he's gonna get a second try, and he had a few issues, but overall not too bad. Compared to the intended strategy of using laser, if you're getting UFO in first or second try, you're likely going to be saving time to the intended strategy. It's only if you're missing UFO 3 or more times, you're generally going to be losing time. So Rioyner probably saving a bit of time there still. Meanwhile, we're seeing Demolition. Is he going to grab UFO, or is he going to be keeping... Looks like he's probably going to be keeping burning throughout this, and then going to be going for double star strategies for the Frosty fight. So he's going to drop this, grab the Ice Cube, and burning at the same time to get that double star and knock both of them out instantaneously. He's going to be entering the 6-6 arena right before Meta Knight. So a couple stages ahead of Rioyner right now. Rioyner keeping UFO for the rest of this level to save a bit of time. 6-6 Arena is the final one. There's quite a few enemies before Meta Knight. The patterns are generally consistent, so it's just about timing and being able to maneuver around that small room to deal with the enemies as fast as possible. Fortunately, having some more stream issues from that. Rioyner entering 6-4. You typically do the stage powerless in 100% because you end 6-3 with UFO generally, which you automatically lose. Alright, Rioyner just cannot take any more hits. He's about to get another switch and then he'll go back to full health. So this is one of the easier switches for Orange Ocean. Just sort of hidden in this dark room, kind of in the background. Gives you full health. Another sort of nice thing about 100% compared to any percent is because you're getting switches so often, it sort of reduces the need to worry about your health. Unfortunately, Rioyner not quite quick enough there. Gets clipped by that Gordo. Is he going for a mix? He is. I did not know that was an actually, I don't think I've ever seen that mix before. I don't even know if that was an actual strategy. So that was new to me. Apparently you can get high jump there. This game's crazy. Demolition, unfortunately, his stream's still... Okay, no, he's now in 7-1. Getting the switch now, and then going to be entering 7-2 and doing ball mix. Rioyner entering 6-5. I don't think he's going to be doing 6-5 burning mix. I don't know if he's necessarily learned that. As, yeah, Demolition's still having some frozen issues. You grab ball mix, and you grab ball from a mix in 7-1, and then use it for the boss rush level, which is 7-2, which is also one of the biggest run killers in Nightmare and Dreamland. Not sure how much we'll be able to see with this stream right now. Meanwhile, Rioyner is going to grab... Oh, he's going for burning mix. Fortunately, not going to get it, so he's just going to... Yeah, so you need something that can use fire, either fire or burning. You typically would just grab fire there, but there is a mix you can do from inhaling both the fire enemy and the laser enemy. Looks like Rioyner did try to go for it, but unfortunately having some issues there, so he's just going to grab fire instead. Because he's pretty low on health. There's a lot of stray enemies in this room that can sort of get you by surprise, so he's got to be safe here. Can't really see too much on Demo's side. I think it's a bit behind from his stream to this one, but it looks like he's currently on 7-3 right now. Actually, he might be finishing 7-2 here, because he's just ending with burning now. Yep, he's just getting out of the boss rush with burning. And Rioyner is entering 6-6. So you have to break a couple metal blocks here. You can either do it with a double star, or you can do it like that. Actually, I'm surprised he went for the mix there. He had both the enemies, so he could have just shot it at the block. I'm not sure what mix he was actually trying to go for. Or if that was just an accident. Yeah, you need to grab either 2 enemies, or you can grab UFO from the next room, which allows you to also break metal blocks. Okay, so he was trying to grab burning from there after all. He was trying to grab both the sparks to get burning. Definitely a riskier strat. Oh, you wanted wheel? Okay. To be honest, there's some strategies for this game that I'm not even super familiar with. Yeah, Demo screen is still frozen. It's like he is hammered. Cause yeah, Demo would have gone for a wheel mix now. With burning there. Alright, having my own disconnect issues there, but we're back. Alright, so demo screen still looks frozen right now. Rioyner finishing up the 6-6 arena. And then he's going to be entering Meta Knight. So for the Meta Knight fights, yeah, you're intended to grab sword. It's the only way to actually do the fight. You can't get hit and lose it, specifically for this one battle. Pretty much just hoping that Meta Knight doesn't block and you can get a whole bunch of free slashes on him, so it's a bit RNG dependent, but some of your actions can manipulate what Meta Knight does. Alright, Alright, so a bit of still stream issues on Demolition's side. I think he's getting close towards the end of World 7. Actually, just as I say that, you can see he's finishing up 7-6 with Wheel. So he's going to be on pace to finish up pretty quickly. Rioyner, unfortunately, getting hit in that room, he's going to lose Sword, so he's going to need some other ability to get through these blocks pretty easily. Spark would probably be the best one. So yeah, he looks like he accidentally inhaled fire there. Yeah, so if you can't have Sword, then you're going to grab the health there, which is fine. You do get health anyways when you get the switch in 7-1. Demolition, so keeping Wheel for out 7-7 on Demolition's side just allows you to save quite a bit of time. It's not that hard of a stage, but it goes a lot faster with Wheel. What Rioyner has to do here is use Burning to break these blocks, get to the switch, but you have to sort of almost get stuck up there to be able to break those blocks. Alright, able to do that. And then next up is going to be Ball Mix. The actual mix is pretty easy because you just have to hold down and B. It's the first ability you get. Oh, unfortunately not getting a good pattern from that sword enemy. It lunged out but didn't go that far enough, and Rioyner was going for a fast inhale. So he's actually going to KO himself to get another attempt at this mix. But yeah, you want to inhale this stone, and okay, he's going to get it this time to get Ball. And gonna go for a bit of ball swag, getting hit there, and that might make it a bit tough for him to actually inhale enemies as he goes for pause there. Alright, looks like he's still gonna finish this out. Gets stone from the mix. Alright, Demolition screens back. So we see him entering DDD. Looks like he hit ball mix in 7-6. Good for him. Pretty quick DDD kill. So he's going to be entering Nightmare. It's a 2-phase fight to end off the game. Rioyner grabbing a sword backup and entering the Boss Rush Tower 7-2. One of the most infamous stages in this game, especially in the context of a speedrun. Even taking the shortcut, you have 4 mini-bosses to do, typically with Ball, but Rioyner's just doing sword as a backup because he doesn't have it right now. And, yeah, these bosses suck. And, especially if you die, trying to do them powerless is very, very slow. So it ends up being one of the biggest make-or-break stages in the game. Back on Demolition's side, he's entering Nightmare, which is a 2-phase fight. The first is kind of a, almost like a space-sized scroller shooter. It's kind of a cliche for a lot of Kirby games to end with one of these, but that transitions into the second form of the fight, where you still have the Star Rod. You just need to land 6 well-timed hits on Nightmare when he's vulnerable. Rioyner on last hit, gonna try to avoid dying to Fireline, and he gets grabbed, so there's the death. Unfortunately, so yeah, all of these boss fights are very slow to do powerless, so if you take a death, the time loss you get throughout 7-2 ends up being pretty bad. Demolition, alright, gets a quick first hit. There's 6 you need to do, and Nightmare's pattern is 100% consistent. It always does the same things, so it's just a matter of becoming familiar with the timings. Actually, I think Demolition may have hit that with the circular blade, which may have done a little bit last month. Actually, no, I think he's fine. But yeah, the patterns are always consistent. It's just a matter of memorizing them and landing some of the hits, which some of them can be a bit specific. Okay, so Demolition still needs about 1 more hit. I think he had a weak 1, which is why Nightmare's still alive, and he's going to finish up 48-42 on his side. Rioyner finally being able to get through 7-2. Ending with Burning here is it's going to save a bit of time throughout 7-3 and 7-4. Demolition getting the 100% screen that comes up if you get all the switches. And just by tournament rules, you need to make sure the screen actually shows up so that the run is valid. Rioyner still got the rest of World 7's due. Once you're through 7-2, however, probably the most difficult part. And especially after you're through, like, Orange Ocean, the remainder of World 7 isn't the most difficult. It's like he's trying to go for a he's trying to go for a wheel mix, I believe, off of the sleep enemies. That's what it looked like, at least. Okay, getting burning instead. I think he was trying to mix wheel off of those 2 sleep enemies. That's what it looked like he was going for. Which I think Demolition also tried. And he got hammer instead. So you get the invulnerability, but burning still helps you get through these last 2 rooms quite a bit quicker. So 7-4 in this run is just a ton of enemies. Burning, especially if you're using it properly, can allow you to get through them quite quickly, but the movement is pretty specific. There's a lot of enemies, so if you're just going about randomly, you're probably going to get hit. You have 4 rooms here, which are all the exact same design, pretty much, just that you spawn in different places, and the walls are in different places. You're trying to get through, taking as little damage as possible, because you're going to be wasting a bit of time every time you get hit. Oh, unfortunately taking the death there, so yeah, if you're getting hit a lot, your health will go down very, very quickly. It also has 0 lives right now, so he's going to have to be careful to not take another game over, as he did earlier in the run. I think he's trying to go for some sort of mix off of those 2 burnings. That's what it looks like, because he was waiting for them. Yep. Alright, he's just going to grab burning here, which you typically don't even really want, because you instead want to grab the spark enemy. But it looks like he's going to be rolling with it. Almost getting shocked into the pit with 0 lives. That would have been suspect. Just trying to get through the remainder of 7-4 here. Which I think he was trying to do, was it 7-4 UFO mix off 2 burnings? Pretty sure that's what he was talking about earlier. Which I don't even think really saves time. Alright, so hopefully he doesn't take an extra stray hit at this point. Okay. Rioyner going through with burning, no fear. Unfortunately, on the very last burning, he gets hit. He got through the first 6. That's unfortunate. Taking another game over. Demolition, how are you doing, man? GG.
I am doing pretty good right now.
What do you have to say about that race? What's going on?
That's a good question. I'm not sure either.
Just watching Rioyner finish this up. Alright, trying to take on Grand Wheelie here. Making some progress. Okay, getting hit there, gonna re-grab wheel, and... Okay, all he has left is 7-6, which is pretty quick to do with wheel. Not a whole lot that can go wrong. There's only a few rooms with a few tight jumps.
Okay, people are asking me why my screen was so dark. I use the same settings as I did for 3DS, and the Wii U screen is a bit darker.
Okay, well that explains it.
Also, I'm never using Wii U VC again. That was so that was so awful. There was actually there was actual input lag, and I got both up inputs and left inputs a bunch.
Oh man.
I couldn't time any mix at all. So wheel mix took me like 10 tries or something in 1-1.
You were determined. I give you that. You did get it. Okay, all right. Rioyner keeping wheel himself. Have you ever done 1-1 powerless or no? Have you just only ever done it with wheel?
No, I've only ever done it with wheel.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, one thing I want to say to Rox, I'm still gonna get 42. It just won't be on the leaderboard, so I'm gonna get on 3D SVC.
Oh, hear that, Rox? Okay, Rioyner inhaled both of them, but he's not really going for the mix. He's just gonna stand there. He's bracing himself. Preparing.
Respectful.
Okay, he gets the laser. He nailed it. Okay. Alright, so is he gonna do laser DDD? What's he gonna do? Looks like it, alright. These are strats.
Okay, Rox, you've been running the game for 2 years. I'm not gonna wait 2 weeks when you've had 2 years, okay?
I cannot wait for the Rox Demolition Salty Sweet. Okay, laser DDD, he's going for it. He's doing that big damage. This is just the worst version of Cutter. This is like a way worse version of Cutter. The guy who just got a 37 can't even do Cutter DDD. For shame, Rioyner, for shame. Alright, things are heating up. 2 health. Needs a few more hits. Oh, he's in the corner. He's in the corner. Oh, he gets blocked. He gets... Okay, he did it. Alright, on track for a sub-hour time. Only about 8-ish minutes behind his PB. So I guess for actual orb strats, pretty much all you're really doing is the same pattern every time. You don't really need to worry too much about health, assuming you don't get hit too much on the knight or on the wizard form. So that was pretty quick from Rioyner, getting it just about as it does its charge attack. And then entering wizard, you just need 6 hits. And again, it's the exact same pattern every time, so it's just about memorization and timing. So, looks like he can still, looks like he can 58 here. Good Nightmare.
I think Rioyner's really good at Nightmare Orb because he runs KDL2. It's the matching game.
Does explain it. That explains so much.
Speaking of Rioyner running KDL2, Rioyner got a world record today of 37.44.
Big 37 for Rioyner. Massive, massive flex. And GG to him. Now we can finally run something that's not KDL2 at 8%. Okay, 58-29. Good stuff to Rioyner. GG. Demolition going to be moving on against the winner of Thomas and Dark Soul. And the winner of that plays Rox. Okay. Yeah, we can do interviews, Rioyner, if you want to hop in the chat for an interview.
Can we interview about his KDL2 world record instead?
We should.
Because I think that's more interesting than this race that happened.
How do I sound?
KDL2, 37 world record holder. Reiner, what do you have to say?
Oh no. Hang on.
His mic is muted.
Reiner stole my PR points and I want an explanation. Discord isn't displaying sound. Oh, and Andy's gone.
I think he's back now. Probably just restarted.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out his mic.
Reiner, you might not hear anything because we're quiet right now. Can you hear me say this?
Rip Reiner's mic.
Figured it out. Hi.
He figured it out. He's
I can hear
here.
things now.
Hello, Mr. KDL2 world record holder.
I don't have my wood stand thing out, so I'm just kind of holding my headset in front of me.
Oh yeah, Hybrid and I agree to interview you about your KDL2 world record instead of the race. Is that okay with you?
Instead of the race.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know much about the freaking what happened in my run, honestly.
You're 58, 29.
Yeah, because like I was just kind of like making up stuff as I go. I was like, all right, that seems like it could be a mix, and then like I'd look at the mix wheel, mix like roulette thing, and I'd be like, that's around 8 or so from wheel. I can mix for it.
That's what I did. In 6-4, I went for a birding mix that I had no idea how to time, and I actually got it somehow.
Oh,
And I saved an entire second.
I forgot what level it was, but towards the end, I got rid of burning to like do a mix off like the
You got
guys.
burning
Got
again.
burning again.
That was 7-3, I think. You spent like 20 seconds just to re-grab burning.
Oh yeah, I tried to mix UFO there as well, but I got fire.
Yeah, I tried to mix UFO in 7-4 and I missed it there. UFO mix was second try in 6-4, so or in
I got-
6-3, so I'm a failure.
I got search right.
Oh, I'm better than Demo. Holy crap.
Also,
Oh.
Demo, did you...
Okay, Ryan, what try did you get on 1-1 wheel?
1-1 wheel first try. Easy.
Yeah, first try. He had a 2-minute lead over you.
Yeah, I kept resetting until I got wheel, and you were like 2 minutes ahead of me at 1-1.
Also,
okay.
Demo, did you reset a whole bunch in 5-6 just to get, like, ball to do heavy mole with ball? I have to
Oh.
know.
I actually got it first try.
Okay.
Nice.
I did it once before, like a couple of weeks ago, and I managed to get it again.
I thought
And
you were
I
gonna
had
be...
And I had no idea what I was doing on heavy mode, so I lost like 30 seconds and almost basic.
Big flex.
I had only 2 game overs.
Not bad. Typical Meta Nightmare run.
Yeah. That run was a lot of fun, though. I was just goofing around. I wasn't taking it too seriously, because...
But I'm really salty because MK told me to turn my brightness up in the nightmare fight, and I did it. And then I had like the best nightmare orb ever, so I didn't even get a gold from that.
Oh.
So I'm blaming MK for that.
Alright, MK owes you a sub.
MK owes me a free commission now.
MK, when are my commissions getting done? I need them ASAP. I need him to reply.
Okay, is there any more we wanted to do for the interview?
Okay, I have a proposition.
Okay.
Right now, Rioyner, you are in front of 25 people who just watched the NIDL race. Can you make a speech of why KDL2 is better than NIDL and why everyone should run it?
Because
Okay,
KDL2
here we
doesn't
go.
drop inputs. There we go.
There you have it, everyone.
There you have it. Except for select. It drops select inputs.
There we go.
KDL2 for the win is the best Kirby game. If you say otherwise, you're wrong. It's just objectively the best.
So when's 36?
Tomorrow.
Alright, cool.
Is that going to be it for the interview?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, bye-bye. GG's,
Okay,
everyone.
bye. Alright, GG's, and I'll end the
Thank you.
SpeedGaming stream.